Good morning, boys. Happy Earth Day. I ask you now, if you had to pick a suitable hymn for Earth Day, which one would you choose? Think. For me, this is an easy call. 78. For the beauty of the earth, for the beauty of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies, Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. I'm tempted to talk to you today about Earth Day, but the fact of the matter is this is one of those subjects where the Museum of Natural History can do it way, way better than I can. So as part of this morning's message, I have attached a 5-minute video from the Museum of Natural History, and I think you will enjoy it very much. All right? Past, future. As the expression goes, we only have one Earth. We need to take care of it. We're not going to have any current events this morning, and there's a very good reason for that. The current event schedule is made up a long time ago, beginning of the year in fact. And when I made the current event schedule, I took into account that this week, the 6th grade would not be here. They would be in Gettysburg, going up and down those fields, learning all about a very, very important battle in American history. But as you know, the 6th grade could not be in Gettysburg yesterday, or today, or tomorrow. And that is a terrible shame. If you're in the 6th grade, you will go to Gettysburg, but you just won't go altogether. But since we don't have any current events right now, I thought you would have to settle for the B team, namely me. An expression. I think I've used this with you before, but let's try again. My trusty whiteboard. The truth is stranger than There's a show on Netflix, very popular apparently, called Tiger King, about this crazy fellow who breeds tigers in Oklahoma. Sounds pretty wild, but as usual, if you want true crazy, where you need to be is right here in New York City. Boys, under the category of the truth is stranger than fiction, I give you this photograph. And if you're saying to yourself, self, is that really a huge tiger in what looks like an apartment building with a member of the NYPD at the window? It is. And here's how the story goes in brief. Ready? In 2001, Mr. Antoine Yates, then a 31-year-old construction worker, brought an 8-week-old tiger cub to his home in a Harlem housing project. His tiger cub, that he named Ming, quickly went from bottle feeding to consuming 20 pounds of chicken thighs a day, which Mr. Yates would heft home each morning from the local supermarket. And in less than 3 years, the Siberian Bengal mix grew into a 425-pound behemoth. The authorities eventually discovered Ming in 2003. They subdued and removed him, along with a 5-foot-long alligator named Al that Mr. Yates kept in a fiberglass tank in the apartment. Both animals were relocated to an Ohio sanctuary, where Ming died from natural causes in February of 2019. Mr. Yates was arrested and he served a brief stint in jail for illegally keeping an animal. Even seasoned editors and reporters were flabbergasted that a man had kept a tiger in his public housing apartment in such a dense urban setting. City authorities were also puzzled how a tiger in apartment 5E of the Drew Hamilton public housing complex had remained an open secret among some neighbors. And boys, as if this isn't nutty enough, you're going to love this. Mr. Yates brought home an abandoned kitten, and so Ming lunged at the kitten. Mr. Yates got in the way. His tiger bit him, and of course left an enormous gashing wound in him. So Mr. Yates took himself to the emergency room, and the people looked at it and they said, "How did this happen?" And the guy said, "My dog did it." And the nurses and the doctors looked at each other and said, "There's no dog that has a jaw like this." So they called the police, and in came the policeman here, as I showed you from this other photo. Well, let's look at it again because it's so amazing. So in came the police armed with a tranquilizer gun to shoot Ming and then take him out on a stretcher. So, New York, New York, it's a heck of a town. Boys, enjoy your Earth Day, and let's get off to work.